prosper. All right, it is 19 minutes gone past 5, and you are tuned in to Business Hub on Smooth 98.1. My name is Joy Ray, and on Business Hub today, we'll be taking a look at the new tax policies and how it is going to affect SMEs as well as those in the manufacturing as angle. And my guest joining me virtually this evening is Isreal Clement. He is the executive director of Everest. And indeed, it's going to be an interesting conversation. So Lagos, you need to come through and share your thoughts as well. And I'm sure my guest is itching to share more insight on how SMEs can grow and the things that they can put into proper perspective. Aside being the executive director of Everest Mobility, he's also a project manager. He also enjoys music. So his hands are in so many places, but also thriving in everything that, well, as they say, Midas touch is what he has. But great to have you with me this evening, Israel, and I trust your day has been good so far.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, really. Thank you.
All right. Great. Okay, so you can actually join us on YouTube. Yes, you can watch, you can catch us up on YouTube. We are on YouTube. It is youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. And you can, come through, see what we look like. Yes, you get to see what my guest looks like. So come through indeed and check him out if you are trying to figure out, okay, who's this person who has all these talents. Anyways, moving away from all that, let's talk about the interesting policies and how it's going to be affecting SMEs and the manufacturing as angles as well. Okay, so I want to know, what are your thoughts really on the new tax policies that have been introduced by the government to help SMEs as well as manufacturers?
All right, thank you, Joy. I actually think it's a bit surprising, yeah, because historically, Nigeria
Right.
already, Nigeria already has one of the lowest percentages for VAT. But in Africa, yeah, and coming up to say, oh, we are entirely taking that off, particularly for SMEs, for manufacturers. I think that is massive. I think that's big. I really think so.
Okay. So it
Yeah,
is kudos to them for, forward thinking in that way.
yeah, it is. It is, especially with where we are currently economically. Yeah,
Okay.
um, doing this, it kind of gives. Earlier today I was having this conversation with someone, and he was like, "Oh, really? Okay, that's good then. So I can launch some more products. I can open some more businesses." Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, so working and running the business with in mind that okay, the government gives us this space, right, to
Mhm.
grow, right, to grow beyond a particular level before they start taxing us. I think that is really good, and I'm hopeful to see how far this is going to contribute to the economy moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, that is good to hear. But do these new tax reforms support small businesses? Uh, in that, will they be reducing their costs?
Yeah, so the same person I was having that conversation earlier today had told me that he went to the store, he had bought something, and he looked at the back of that package he bought, the product, and he saw a particular percentage written on it for VAT. Yeah, so
Right.
what that means is that it has been included already before the end user, you
You
know,
know?
So if you bought something for say 1,000 naira, with
Mm-hmm.
this it should reflect that that amount would reduce maybe to maybe 10,000, maybe 9,500, maybe 9,800, depending. Yeah. So it should reflect on the products, right, that we get to use, especially inbound products. That's the one that's produced from Nigeria, right? Especially those ones. So it's definitely going to be reflecting on a lot of things that we use.
All right.
So
That is good.
we should see change of prices for some things, reducing.
See, just hearing that alone is exciting news because hey, if things get to reduce, because in Nigeria there's the assumption that anything that goes up never comes down. So, but
Right.
if we're expecting that things can actually reduce, and then we go to the store, even if VAT has been inclusive, but it will be reduced at some point, and we can get all those goods and services without having to be afraid that oh, it's going to be killing. That is great news.
Yeah, it is. I think so too. I really think so. I hope that it's being implemented, especially by the already existing manufacturers.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. See, legit fingers crossed that they will also, make this happen and pass it along and try and reduce costs for, their consumers as well. Okay, but I want to know really, this one is, it's not tricky, right? But indeed, what is the main goal of the Presidential Task Force Committee? I know that Taiwo Yedele has spoken about this, but what is your contribution on this angle?
If I understand the chairman very well, right, the entire committee,
Mm-hmm.
um, they're trying to develop a system that can monitor inventories. Yeah. What that means is they're trying to build a system where um, with your NIN, with your maybe bank account, BVN, all of that detail all that KYC detail will be inserted into one ID, one particular ID that you can use, and they're able to monitor your in and outs when it comes to finances, right? And they were able to tell who is supposed to be in tax. So, and they're also able to auto deduct that tax from you. And also on the news earlier today, we saw that for individuals that are earning about 100 million monthly are going to be charged 25% on tax. Yeah. The
I
wealthy,
saw that and I'm like, wait,
the,
so
the
the
wealthy,
luxury, so yeah, so the wealthy are the ones who are going to be taxed,
yeah.
and then we get to enjoy some
Yeah,
some respite, right?
I mean, from the stats that the committee is giving, they are saying that over 90% are below the wealthy Nigerians actually that they have been taxing so far. So it also means that with this system that they are developing, I understand it's not yet live from what is being published,
Mm-hmm.
but with this system, this newly developments coming up, going like being deployed, I understand that it would in one ID, in one identity card,
Right.
capture your finances in and out, and they'll be able to tell who and where to tax from. So if you're to be spending, and I also understand that if you don't work with them for that, maybe somehow Nigerians you want to refuse getting that ID or maybe that code or
Mm-hmm.
something. They can
Mm-hmm.
get this. They can get that detail from a third party. I mean, there's a bank which you're
Right.
banking with.
You have a financial institution that will, in
Yeah,
a way, give
exactly.
off
So
all those details.
one way or the other, they are going to lay hands on that detail, on those details, and still get to tax you. So yeah, that's what they're coming up with, right? And I think it's good. I really think it's good. It helps them hands on without having to go through a lot of ups and downs to get that done.
But in your own understanding, your own opinion, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think they're focusing more on this small businesses? Why are they prioritizing them? Is there something more to I am actually for it, don't get me wrong, but is there a particular reason why they're looking at, oh, okay, the small businesses, let's actually focus on them more.
Yeah. So now talking about small businesses, yeah, somehow those businesses contribute, it enables them to be able to contribute to the growth of the economy nation.
Right.
Yeah, like I said initially, I said I was in a conversation with someone today on this during my
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that, oh, he wants to go ahead to like now he's encouraged to open more businesses, to run more businesses, yeah, sell more stuff,
Right.
produce more stuff. So now for small businesses, that reform is talking about is saying that for businesses that do 25 million annually, that is you're talking about 2 million monthly thereabout. So they're saying, oh, they are giving that no VAT at all, no taxes on that. So now because the more products these businesses, one way or the other, bring in products and services,
Mm-hmm.
homebound, homemade, manufactured right here in motherland.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have more of those. You have more of those. So we begin to increase in-house values, right? We
Mm-hmm.
begin to increase in all of that, and the more we do that, the prices are lower. The more Nigerians are able to consume, the more it eventually, at the end of the day, increases revenue for the federal government. Actually, it does. So for them saying or targeting that this is exempt, small businesses, manufacturers are exempted, they know that eventually at the end of the day, it helps and it will even boost revenues on taxes for the federal government.
So in one sense, it is a win-win situation
Yeah, it is.
that we're looking at.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It is
actually great to know.
yeah, it's psychological. It's a long game. For you to think that, oh yeah, free stuff, right? I mean, this is good.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it
You
enriches
find that
it enriches you as an individual in quotes, if you're a business owner. It enriches you, which
right.
will become still tax you on it, right? So yeah.
All right, Lagos, you can actually chime in, share your thoughts this evening on Business Hub. And today we're talking about the new tax policies and how it can boost SMEs as well as manufacturers. Do come through on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 440 981 to share your thoughts. Let's take this quick breather. On the other side of this breather, we'll be talking about something that is duplication of identities and how we can just merge everything into one. But you know what? On the other side of the screen, we will get into that.
Sure.
Yeah, that duplication of identities. I was at an event today and we're talking about that indeed. Because why is it that you have your BVN, you have NIN, you have your passports.
Yeah.
What else? Okay, no, let me not even put your account number. But you have all these ways of tracking a person. Meanwhile, in the US, or well, I'm using the US now for an example. You have your social security number, and it's just one, and they can track you anywhere you are.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go on. Sorry.
Okay, so why I'm actually bringing this is I also learned that during the time that there was that whole trader money and things, there was a way to track those who weren't paying up. What they did was pull back on um on the BVN, and once they weren't paying up, bam, catching up with them. Well, you know what? Let's get back into the conversation. I will highlight all those things.
Sure. Sure.
All right, 32 minutes gone past 5. You tune into Business Hub on Smooth 98.1. Yes, my name is Joy Ure, and if you just tuned in, you're welcome. Today on Business Hub, we're talking about the new tax policies and how it can actually help small businesses and manufacturers. You can share your thoughts this evening. Come through on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 440 981 and share your thoughts. And hey, we're also live on YouTube. That is youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. And you can catch us there. All right, getting back into the conversation, I know that we're talking about duplication of identities, but we'll get back to that. One thing I want to also touch on really before we focus on that really is how, with this taxes, right? How is it that when they remove the taxes for SMEs and manufacturers, how will it affect their cost of doing business? For me, naturally, I'm already thinking, oh, it's going to ease businesses, ease way of doing business for them.
You know,
But I might just be far-reaching. What say you? Will this actually be a plus or a minus, or just for them being on?
I think I for one, I think it's going to be a plus because now, I mean, you have all of that percentage to reinvest into the business, to put back into the business, to grow
Right.
that business. Yeah. Um, Before now, if you're planning, oh, you know that whatever it is you're planning to work.
Hi, Clement. Are you there? Ooh, seems the gremlins are getting to you. I'm hoping that you can actually reconnect. Uh, okay. I'm hoping that Israel, if you can hear me, if you can reconnect, do let me know. Hoping that you can come through eventually because I could still see your um, okay. Well, we wait on Israel to, come through and hopefully his network lets him back in. You can come through and share your thoughts with me this evening. WhatsApp number is 0809 444 981. All right, welcome back, Israel. Uh, the Gremlins didn't want you to share your thoughts earlier on, but hey,
Sorry.
no, go
So
go
yeah,
ahead.
I was saying that on that, right? You get to reinvest that percentage. Before now, when you plan, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
plan, you know that this percentage is not there. You're planning with maybe 80 something percent, like something percent, right?
Mm-hmm.
You work with that, but now you know that you have something, say 100% to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So you can accurately or even more increase the percentage of how you reinvest into that company, that product. So if you were given production sheets, maybe 30% of revenue of your income, now you can maybe increase that percent maybe by 31 point something because now you have some extra percentage to use, right? Given the government have taken that off entirely. So I
Hmm.
think it's a big plus.
It's actually a plus. All right. That's actually good to know. Now let's even talk about turnovers. And um, with that, really, what is the significance of actually exempting SMEs with the annual turnover under 25 million from this tax? Why do you even think? I know that you're giving a bit of a
Yeah,
breakdown, but
you know,
how is that going to improve cash flow?
that is why, you know, we just talked about the win-win situation, you know, just now. I
Right.
mean, yeah.
So it's a win for
So,
the government, win for the
yes,
business
yes,
itself.
yes, because now you can have more businesses, right,
Mm-hmm.
running 5 million annually. And those businesses, I mean, are being consumed even more, right? And
Mm,
maybe the producers or the owners even more. Then
mm-hmm.
in turn, you are able to still tax these individuals, right, of their own personal income, yeah, and also you're giving the people more buying power, right? Because you remember we just talked about the tech that's being developed currently, where you're able to monitor inventories, right? Your buying
Mm-hmm.
power, your selling power, where you declare your income, and it has to tally with your economic route to and through how you spend. So all of this actually is a big picture with all of these parts of it running, coming together, right? And from the standpoint of the federal government, right there, they can see
Mm-hmm.
how this connects. So yeah, I same way my mind runs when I do something. I think I think they just got it really. I think they just really got
Oh, so in other words, they were reading your mind and then they
it.
follow through with it.
I mean, it was quite low, like I said, compared
Right.
to other
To the
countries.
numbers that we're expecting.
Yeah, yeah, but taking this completely off, it's good. It gives more room for even more innovations,
Growth.
products to come up and the existing to also grow, right, to better. So it's
Mm.
a big, I really hope this contributes to the economic state where we are currently as a country. I really hope
Mm.
so.
Okay, so with that in mind, right? Agri business, that's businesses that are in agri, are they also going to be exempt from these taxes as well?
Sorry, I didn't get that. What business? What?
Agri businesses, are they going
Yes,
to be exempt from this tax as well?
yes, yes. Because if you're talking about producers, you have to factor them in. In fact, they are at the very, very, very zero level one of most of the
Mm,
that we use. So yeah,
okay.
agricultural businesses are covered, farming business are covered. I have someone in the alma mater um, alma farms in Abuja.
Okay.
I was having that conversation earlier this morning, and they're excited because they're also covered. They also covered because she mentioned how much really in the percentage that goes out from them for VAT. So
Right, right. So this is a huge deal for them. And
yeah, it
well,
is. It is.
who doesn't like benefits? We all do. We're always looking at how things can actually make sense. Where even if we're putting in all our funds, we want to know that we're getting something out of it as well.
Yeah.
Now let's actually come to what Taiwo Oyedele's team are looking at. How are they going to also ensure that high income earners pay their taxes? And I'm not
We,
talking about now we sorted out the low income earners, right? How are they going to ensure that these people that have the monies are actually going to make part with those monies?
yes. So we're behind the call. We're talking about
Yes.
yeah. So now, okay, I'm going to mention something, right?
Right.
At Everest, right, the company I'm on currently, at
Okay.
Everest, there's an arm of a product that deals into that's currently, though it's not yet under development,
Hmm.
that's something likely to what the government currently are on.
Okay.
I'm also head of operations at a company called Platoon that deals with payroll, that's entirely payroll management. So you're talking salary,
Right.
tax, and pension. Now,
Okay.
there's something that we have in under development that is similar to this, but it's a digital ID, right? A digital identity card. So now, what the government, if you go back to look at what Chairman was saying, they have something similar like that coming up, such that it links all of your social numbers, maybe BVN, NIN number there, national ID card, it links all of that together into one single ID that they can
Right.
use to track and monitor all of that inventories as to your finances. So the bosses, the wealthy Nigerians who do 100 million a month, right?
They'll be able to track it
Exactly.
with ease. You
You're
cannot
gonna be
hide it anywhere.
you're gonna be dealing with the Nigerian accounts. You're gonna be dealing with our bank accounts here in the country, whether in the country or
Okay.
outside the country. You're gonna be dealing with it. And that how BVN works, how it connects all of us, right? So
Mhm.
you can't run from it, except I don't know, except you're gonna be.
Manufacture a different one or put
I mean,
but let's not even put ideas in Nigerians' heads. So I was gonna say something, but
yeah, yeah. It's same here.
mm-mm. It's easy to put those ideas and people will run with it. But you know what? Talking about this identities and all that you've also mentioned. So yes, I know we're talking about how CBN was able to track those who were backtracking on the loans that were giving to them, like telling them, oh, okay, so we're giving you this loan, but you've refused to pay. So they found a way to make these people pay. But now that we're even talking about this, isn't that also an infringement on these people's rights? Hey, they've collected the loan. They don't have it at that time, or they want extension. How is that also going to play?
Now you're talking about loan, yeah.
Right.
Usually when you get loans, there are T and C's that goes with those things.
Oh, sure.
Right? Depending on conditions that go with it. So if you don't take your time to go with yourself or with your lawyers, I'm sorry, but be sure to just know that whatever step they will be taken afterwards is surely in that paper. You just didn't read it, or you probably skipped it, or it's so hard you didn't catch it. You can't even
Okay.
interpret it, yeah. So it's why it's always advised to get legal support in on things like that. But yeah, so with that in place, there won't be
Hmm.
any privacy infringe, right? There won't be any of that because all of that must have been in place before the loan must have been approved, to that individual.
Hmm. But what long-term effects will these reforms have on job creation, especially with our Nigerian economy?
That's that. For example, if I'm going to have more businesses open, more products being manufactured and sent out there, I'm going to need more manpower. For the ones
Mm.
machines, I'm going to need more manpower. So that's already um,
So
um,
something a positive.
yes, a positive on job creation. So I'm going to need
Right.
more people. I'm gonna need more people to do one or the two things. If you want to open new businesses, I'm going to need new managers,
Mhm.
new support, or mention it. So those are new roles that have to be taken up by new set of people. So that's actually more job creation on the go.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for all that insight that you shared this evening. And I'm sure that small businesses as well as manufacturers excited that they're going to be growing even in this dire economy. There is rainbow at the end of the tunnel, or no, light at the end of the tunnel. And
Like,
then even after the rain has fallen, we're looking at the rainbow and seeing that, hey, great, the clouds
yeah,
are there.
well, the only I would call it fear right now. You know how we are. I mean, in the last 1 month, fuel prices have changed up to 3 times. So,
Oh
so
my goodness. Now
the
you
only
went there.
challenge is if this can stay for a long time, because you won't get the results in the short term. You won't get the
Mm,
results in the short term. You will hope that this is able to stay up a bit longer, for you to actually see the result of it.
okay. Well, it's only if you put in the work that you'll be able to benefit at the end of the day. So I'm hoping that they will do the work and they'll be glad for it. But indeed, they say all good things must come to an end. How can people reach out to you? How can Lagos reach out to you? Or those in the diaspora that are actually listening and want to share more, get more insights? Well, now they're looking at starting more businesses. How can they even start off those businesses? How can you help them guide them through? Because you've spoken about different aspects of things that you do.
Yeah.
How can they reach out to you on your social media handles?
Yeah, sure. I'm a business dev, right? I'm just dev. So
Right.
they can come in. I also mentioned if you have a business out there, I mean, we are very much open to guide you. Like I said, I also run
Mm,
head of business operations for a platform called Platoon, where we do salary payments, pension and taxes, like the topic
okay.
you're being today. So on Instagram, you'll have me at underscore Israel Clement,
Okay.
underscore Israel Clement. For X, you have me at Israel underscore triple C. Don't worry, the C is for Clement too. Just that the Clement.
Right.
So for X, which is formerly known as Twitter, you have me at
Hmm.
Israel underscore triple C, CCC.
Right.
LinkedIn, you have me at Israel Clement. That's all it.
So Israel Clement on all platforms. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Israel Clement, for all the insight this evening. And I trust that you will have yourself a pleasant evening ahead.